Bloggo's POW.
Right, let's take a look at the games of my year. These are the games that I've spent the year playing, not necessarily released this year, but the ones I've had the most fun with. Right, so my year started off trying to plough through my backlog, which didn't go very well, but I did play through Resident Evil Revelations at long last, which I found surprising. I really enjoyed it. It plays really nicely. The control wobbliness of things like Resident Evil 5, which I never got on with, seems to have gone. It's a really good back to basics Resident Evil story set on a boat, and it's just been really good. There's lots of extra bits and pieces to pick up, weapons to modify, and then when you finished it, there's a battle mode where you work your way through various sections of the game, picking up extra bits for weapons and trying to get through as quickly as you can. And it's just been really interesting and really good fun. Probably worth picking up. It's on most systems nowadays. I think you can get it on pretty much everything apart from a toaster these days. So it's definitely worth having a go at. So next up we've got Air Conflict's Secret Wars, which I've had my eye on for a while. This is the Switch version. Just simply because I was looking for something to replace that Secret Weapons over Normandy gap left in my life since the Xbox One days. And this pretty much fits the bill. It's very low tech. It doesn't look like a current gen game. It looks a bit 3DFX in places, to be honest. But it's really short, really sweet. If you've got a propensity for World War II dogfighting, this will definitely fit the bill. It's got a little story to it, which you can take it or leave it. It's got a lot of aircraft to unlock, a little bit of a skill tree thing going on, but it's just twee. It's almost like a throwback to a bygone age in a way. And for that, I really appreciate it. Like I said, it's not going to win any awards for graphics or sound or anything like that. But it is a solid gameplay experience. There are other Air Conflict games. I've tried briefly the Vietnam one and it wasn't as good. But this one, when I got it, was only a couple of pounds on the Switch on the e-store. So if you like the look of it, you can do a lot worse than spending what I spent, with £3 or £4 I think on it. Go out and get it, and it's a really good blast, really good fun. So yeah, give it a go by all means. And on the subject of aircraft, here's a little game that I found on the Switch e-store, which initially I thought, oh, it looks like Jet Strike on the Amiga. And it sort of is a bit, but it's not quite polished. It's a very budget game, but it was definitely fun to play for the couple of hours I spent on it. It was dirt cheap as well at the time. So this is Aircraft Evolution, which is it's sort of Jet Strike, Wings of Fury on the Amiga. If you played those games, you can unlock different aircraft again. It's very simple. The user interface is absolutely dreadful. It is prone to slow down and crashing on the Switch still. It's not exactly demanding, so it's not particularly well polished, but yeah, it kept my attention for a few hours. And again, if you see it in the sale on the eShop, it's probably worth a quick bash to see if you like it, and if you didn't, you're not really lost a lot. It'd be a try it and see. I can't wholeheartedly recommend it, but it was an amusing diversion for a little while. Right, my retro gland was tickled this year primarily by the Darius Cosmic Collection, the arcade edition, with the arcade versions of the original Darius, Darius 2 and Darius Gaiden. And yeah, I've put a lot of time into these. They're really good fun, as you'd expect. I do like my shooters. These are excellent versions of the games, being arcade perfect conversions with some nice bells and whistles added on. I put a lot of time into this as a sort of a comfort gaming, something I can have in between meals without ruining my appetite, if you like, that sort of thing. So not cheap. I bought these stupid limited run, whatever it was, strictly limited games edition with all the bells and whistles. I did a video earlier in the year on that, but I still find myself coming back to these games as a quick blast, so I do recommend them for that reason. Bit of a left field choice here. This is Contra Rogue Corps for the Switch, also on Xbox and One and PlayStation 4. And initially looking at this, you know, it's not a Contra game. If you get this expecting a Contra game, you're going to be disappointed. It does have callbacks to the Contra games in ways, but it's a bit more like an adventure twin stick shooter thing. And again, it's held my attention for a while. You can level up again. It seems to be par for the course with practically everything these days. The skill tree and weapon upgrades are a bit oblique when it comes to working out what's going to be best for the character. Don't seem to do much difference, but it's fun. It's if you take away the Contra name and ignore it's a Contra game, you're going to have some fun with this all the same. Not very polished, not particularly good when it comes to graphics and presentation, but still, it's really cheap at the moment. I think a physical copy can be got for £5. I've no idea what it is on the eShop and things like that, but it is really cheap. And if you're curious about it, you know, give it a try. It's not objectively a really good game, but it is interesting enough to hold your attention for a while. Right, now definitely on to one of my games of the year. Streets Rage 4, the game we never thought was going to happen, actually happened in the god-awful year of 2020. Who would have thought? Absolutely brilliant. I've spent so much time on this. It really is very good. It's got a few problems to it. Little things like having a button to pick things up rather than just pressing the punch button again. But it doesn't take away from what is obviously a massive love letter to the original 3 games. You can unlock the various different versions of the characters, like Streets Rage 1 versions of the characters and 2 and 3 to play in the main game. And it's just really well made. The graphics are absolutely lovely. I didn't like the look of them initially when I saw them in the first screenshots, but then no, I've played it. It looks really nice. The music's really nice. Not a patch on the original game's music, even though you can unlock a retro soundtrack and play through with that if you like, but it still fits the game really well. I think there's 12 stages here, so it's not small, and you're going to want to keep on going back to level your character up. There we go, leveling again, and unlocking extra bits and pieces. It's really good. If you've played the Streets Rage games and you haven't played this yet, you really should. It is absolutely excellent. Now, on the same subject to this, while I was waiting for this to arrive, I bought the limited run physical copy again rather than digital. So while I was waiting for this to arrive, I also took delivery of River City Girls, which is a update of the River City Ransom stroke Kunio-kun games, and that's really good as well. You're looking at it thinking it'll play like Streets of Rage, but the thing with it is there's more of an adventure element to it. You do have shops to buy stuff, you have moves to buy and unlock, and your character gets progressively stronger as the game goes on. It's got a really lovely pixel art style with lots of detail. The music's really nice as well. If you're expecting Streets of Rage, it doesn't play like Streets of Rage, But if you run out of Streets of Rage and looking for something else, this is a really good alternative. But just don't expect it to be the same sort of fast-paced game as Streets of Rage. There's a lot of backtracking, wandering around. You've got missions to complete as well. This gives it a little more depth than your standard scrolling beat 'em up, and it's really, really nice. Worth a go as well. Again, I bought a limited run copy of this, so I'm not sure how much it costs on the eShop for a download, but definitely worth a bash. And who would have knew that 2020 would have had two good scrolling beat-em-ups? Now, 2020 also saw the return of Doom again, with Doom Eternal. Mixed feelings here. Initially enjoying it, like I really liked the Doom reboot from a couple of years back. So initially really enjoyed it, but I do have some niggles with it. The main problem I have with it initially was to get your ammo and health back in Doom 2016. You'd have to you'd do finishing moves. It was just fine. It was just one button did a finishing move, and you got some ammo and health back, which was fine. You get your health back when you do a finishing move in this, but you don't get any ammo back. You get ammo back by using the chainsaw, which, okay, that's fair enough, and you get armor back by doing like a shoulder-mounted flamethrower move, which is another button press. Now, I'm not great on a keyboard and mouse. The Doom reboot just had an extra key for executions, which was easy. It was just one extra button. In this, you've got an extra button for the chainsaw, obviously, and also for this shoulder-mounted flamethrower thing that will refill your armor if you use it as a finishing move. And there's a dash and a dash jump, and it's suddenly become really overcomplicated. There's far too many controls now. They've taken the simplicity away and added in extra button presses, which is really annoying. And that comes to my main gripe. Later on in the game, I didn't say later on, it's not very far because I've only played a couple of hours of it. There's a platforming bit that looks like Super Mario Sunshine. There's wheels of flame rotating and platforms that drop if you just stay on them too long. The emphasis is on jumping on a platform and then jumping off and dashing and double jumping at the same time. And this is Doom. You don't want that sort of shit in Doom. It really has put me off playing the rest of the game. I really find it annoying that you've got this amazing first-person shooter horror experience, very visceral, and you've got to do all this double jump Mario shit on some of the stages. It's absolutely infuriating. So on that basis, a couple of weeks later, I downloaded Doom 64 for the Switch, and this is what I needed. This is old school Doom. I've never played the 64 version through before. Not my favourite console, the N64, but seeing it on the Switch, you've got clearer graphics, you've got the old school Doom gameplay on some really clever new levels, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's a complete blast. It really is. And because it's old Doom, it's got the nostalgia fix as well, but with like a new lick of paint. Again, like I say, I never played the 64 version back in the day. So this was a pleasant surprise, and I whiled away a fair few hours playing through this on my Switch, which was really good fun, and I do highly recommend this if you're after an old school Doom fix. Right, before I get to my top pick, here's a couple of racing games. First off, we have Horizon Chase Turbo, which is amazing. It came out, what, the year before? Or the year before that even, I'm not sure. And I sort of ignored it because I'm not a fan of lap races. I mostly prefer checkpoint style races, you know, like Outrun. But this is an absolute blast. I keep on saying that. It's a really good, simple racing game. If you've played the Lotus games or Top Gear on the Super Nintendo, you're gonna know what I'm on about. It's really, really good. It's really fast. The graphics are simple and clean. The music's really nice. Again, this was really cheap on the eShop at the time I bought it. Absolutely excellent game. I played it all through to completion with some of them. Played some of the extra DLC bits as well. I can't recommend this enough. I think it's on PS4 as well and PC. I'm not sure if it's on Xbox, but it is worth tracking down and playing. It's really good. Now, when I finished playing it, I thought, oh, I'm going to play next. And Hotshot Racing had just been released, which I'd sort of been looking forward to because it was like a clean polygon racer. You know, it makes you think of virtual racing. So I downloaded it quite eagerly, paid the full whack for it, and then was initially very disappointed. It moves really nicely. It looks really good. It's, like I say, very clean, simple polygons. Looks really nice. But the AI is massively aggressive. If it shunts you from behind, you'll spin, and then it'll get a turbo boost and race right past you. If you're in the lead, there's rubber banding in effect, so that the back markers are going to suddenly shoot forward to challenge your lead. Even if you've had a perfect race and left everyone in the dust, there's going to be they're still going to be right on your tail, which is a bit annoying. I really don't like that in things like kart races. See, there's a lot of that in some of the Mario Kart games, and it's really annoying in this because I thought it was going to play like virtual racing in that respect. It's also one of those games where you have to build up nitros by doing drifts, which is okay. I'm not a big fan of that either. But it's one of those games where if you build up all your nitros, there's no point using them for most of the race until you're on the last straight before the last checkpoint, because at that point all the other cars are going to be swarming up your backside again, and without the boosts you're not going to win the race. So it's a little bit annoying in that respect. Having said that, I did revisit it a bit more recently, and I was getting a lot more out of it, especially by picking the specifically drift based cars. So treat it with caution. You may well enjoy it. It took me a little while for it to click with me. The annoyances may be too great for some people. Right, so predictably enough, the top spot for my 2020 playlist ended up being Call of Duty again. But wait, there's good reasons for this. Well, first off, I bought it at the beginning of the year because I was going to be playing multiplayer, and for whatever reason that didn't initially materialise. So I played through the campaign and it was fine. But then of course a lockdown happened, and at the same time lockdown happened, Warzone happened, which is the battle royale mode for Call of Duty that was released pretty much the same day, I think, that lockdown happened in this country, which was fortuitous because I've spent the whole bloody year playing this and having so much fun. Been playing with two friends, real life friends, Sergeant Goat and Warden 75. Thank God for crossplay, because Sergeant Goat's on Xbox and we're on PlayStation, and it's been brilliant. We've been running around Verdansk, looting, dropping out of aeroplanes, flying in formation with helicopters, and we've had so much fun. We've got into swapping tips for loadouts and weapons, and it's been brilliant. A little while before Christmas I bought both my teammates the full Modern Warfare game, because Warzone's free, but if you want to play the Modern Warfare multiplayer you need to buy the game. And we've been playing that as well, levelling up our weapons. This all sounds very boring, but it's been such an absolute blast. Hats off to the team at Infinity Ward and Raven for doing this, because they kept it fresh. They kept on updating, adding bits to the map. There was an absolutely fantastic Halloween event with zombies and ghosts and frights and scares, none of which I managed to capture on video. So here's a picture of us wearing pumpkins. And it's been amazing. Even more recently, they've added the Rebirth Island map, which is a smaller, more intensive battle royale map. Well, we've actually managed to get some wins on that, which has been fantastic, especially this win here where Wardener was the last person left and camps out the last couple of minutes of the game in a helicopter and managed to win the game. So that was really cool. Yeah, I can't recommend this enough if you do like any sort of first-person shooter or battle royale. It will take up your life. We play 3-4 times a week sometimes. Well, I do anyway. We get together regularly on a Thursday and play together. It's just been an absolute godsend this year, in a year where you can't meet people, you can't go out to places, and this has been an amazing salvation for that. I really didn't expect to spend the entire year playing it, but oh my god, I'm so glad I did. And long may it continue. The game was getting a little bit stale before the last update, but now we've got that, the confidence has come back, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more updates and a lot more really cool things to do and explore, new game modes for the Battle Royale and Warzone section of it. It's been absolutely excellent. So there were my games of 2020. What were your games of this year? Comment below.
Subscribe or naff off.